Lee here at Simply Rustic by Stamen & Sons, and welcome to another freezing cold day in the UK. I've even had to put a jacket on today. Today's video is going to be sorting out the workshop. Not this workshop, but the actual workshop. We've had some lockdown restrictions removed, so I think in the next few weeks, I'm going to be able to get back down there and actually start working in the workshop. The only issue is, and what you'll see later in the video, is that while I've been working in my mobile workshop, the other workshop has turned into a bit of a dumping ground. So we're going to have a big tidy up in there, and also what I'm going to do is take what I did have was a small workshop and a large storage area, and I want to swap those around. I want a bigger workshop. When we get back in there, we're looking at investing in some more tools. We need some more space. We've got a lot more projects that we need more space for now, so we're going to work in there and try and swap the two areas around and have a nice big workshop. So over the next few weeks we're going to be working through that and getting a nice big workshop area, and hopefully we'll be able to get some good footage and you'll be able to follow that journey with us. So before I actually turn this camera around and show you the mess and giant bonfire that this unit has become during lockdown, I'm just going to take this opportunity to show you a couple of pictures of what my little workshop was becoming like before lockdown, and how neat and tidy I did keep it, just to show you that this is not normally me. So you saw there, I had a nice tidy little workshop. We was building it up. It wasn't quite finished, but we was getting there. Then lockdown struck, and I used the unit to start converting my camper van, and now I'm using the unit as a wood storage area, and well, this happened. So basically this is my unit now. I've been collecting wood and not really caring where I put it, and just sort of throwing it all in. Now this side of the unit is what I use for my other business for storage. What I'm hoping to do is turn this huge space into a big wood workshop and wood storage, and then I'll show you what was the workshop. So this was my workshop. As you can see, all the tools have been removed and they're all in the van now, but we'll be replacing them. But this smaller area that was my little workshop is going to be the storage for my other business, so then we can use the large area as one big wood workshop and wood store. So throughout this video, and probably another couple of consecutive videos, we're going to be converting this whole space, completely changing it around, turning the smaller area into storage for my other business and the larger area into a big wood workshop and hopefully a nice wood store, so I can have everything categorised, so I can lay my hands on whatever type of wood I need to get hold of. So let's see how that works out. So we've sped this up a little bit just so you don't get too bored, but this was the most arduous task you have ever seen in your life. We basically had to just move everything from one side to the other side to free up some space to be able to get something out, and then when we finished doing that, we then had to put it all back to that side so they can free up some more space. It was like doing 1,000 square foot Rubik's Cube, and I can't do a normal Rubik's Cube. It was horrible, mind-numbing and boring, but it was something that we just had to get on with, and there was nothing we could do. This was basically doing the main area and the large workshop, and then we're going to jump over now to where we was just clearing out all the furniture that we've got in over time for upcycling, and all the other junk that had been harboured in the old workshop. We just needed to clear it all out, and while we're clearing out of here, as you can imagine, we're now filling the space that we'd just made in the other shop. And it just went backwards and forwards like that for a few days. Another day sorting out, and we seem to be just making mess to create mess, to make space, to put mess in it, to create mess, to make space, and repeat. I'm gonna lie, this is getting a bit disheartening now. Just moving things to move them again. But tomorrow morning I've got CNC and laser being delivered, so I've got to somehow turn this 1,000 square foot of chaos into somewhere that I can build and set up a CNC machine. Over there somewhere, there in that corner where that big pile of wood is, that's where it's going. And I think I'm going to be eating tea and sleeping here tonight, just to get anywhere near being able to be ready for this CNC being delivered at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Finally taking shape. Everything for sale. Some wood storage. Still no room for a CNC though. So it's morning of the CNC delivery now, and the last time you saw me stood here, I turned around and the place looked an absolute state, but we pulled a bit of a late one last night, and I'll show you around it. It's not perfect, but we're getting there and we've got space for the CNC now. So CNC is going to be going in this corner, laser next to it. We've still got, there's some of my old workbenches from my old workshop that need putting back together. So we've still got all this to sort out and all this to sort out. This is all equipment from my business that I have up for sale. This is all going to be wood storage. This is obviously now already wood storage, furniture that's been upcycled, you know, pallets, broken down pallets, sheet materials. And then this is going to be workbenches up this wall, and then a big workbench with a table saw in the middle. But we're getting there. So we can't actually film getting the CNC machine. We are going to collect it, but it's at someone's private unit. He don't want us to actually film us collecting it from his unit for security purposes. So the next thing you see is hopefully going to be a CNC in place there, and me crying in the corner because I haven't the faintest idea what to do with it. I'm smiling. CNC machine and laser in place. A nice big wall space for some workbenches to be built. Starting to take shape now. That was a pretty hefty few days of getting everything ready, but now everything's really starting to take place. I just can't wait to get everything in place, wired up, workbenches built, dust extraction. This is getting quite exciting now. So the new workshop's really starting to take shape now. Everything's cleaned out, sorted out. We've got the staining room where the laser engraver and everything is, that's nearly there and taking shape. Soon we'll have some more wood storage over here. Just going to start finishing off. This was my old miter saw bench from the old smaller workshop in there. Obviously with everything stripped back and missing from it. I kept the miter table because it was the right height and the right size for a miter saw. So I'm going to start building a new full length miter table all the way down this wall with plenty of storage and everything underneath. So I'm going to start building this now. I'm not going to keep this video going too much longer, purely because I don't want to have going on for hours and hours and hours. And also we're going to split it up into a few videos anyway, but we're going to do the start of the miter saw table. I need to get this done so I can carry on doing some more orders for customers, and I need somewhere to work, so it's important just to get the basics of the miter saw table in, just a nice workspace to use the miter saw and also do some work to get some orders built up and ready for some customers that need to get finished as soon as possible really. So we're going to finish this video off with just the basics of the miter saw table going up, and then hopefully you'll see me in part 2 as everything starts to take shape as more tools get delivered. Obviously I've put my tape measure down somewhere and I can't find it. You see, I'm not pilot drilling these. These screws are unbelievable. They have a, I don't know if you can make that out, just like a bladed top and a grooved, and they're self-pilot, and also another one at this end. And these ridges, again, hope you can make that out, also in the, they're just such a better screw. The countersink because of these top ridges, you know, the self-pilot. I won't recommend doing that into something thin, but you know, the wood that I'm using, you got a good size to it. There's no, using a decent screw, and it's also got a hex top, so there's no slipping of the drill bit. Much better than, and there's just no need to pilot drill, especially into a nice big solid piece of wood. It's, yeah. Make sure you get yourself some. It just takes away so much need for pilot drilling, especially in something like this. No need at all. So basically I need a pair of hands now, and I don't have one. It's going to make life easier, but for the rest of this build, I'm going to cut short now. You know, we're just going to attach a length of timber to the wall and then build off from that, come all the way down towards the camera there, and then all the way back up, almost to the corner of the room there. It's going to give me about a 3.5 metre cutting space at both sides. We're going to have a 7 metre bench plus the mitre station in the middle. So you're nearly like an 8 metre mitre station. Not just used for mitre station, it will be a work surface area as well, but it's going to mean there isn't going to be a length of wood that I'm not going to be able to cut in here, because if I do need to, a length of wood can outshoot about another 3 metres beyond the camera. So we're going to have a huge space here, but I'm going to end this video here. As I said, I don't want this one to drag on too long, and I don't want you to see too much of the workshop evolving. You know, we've got to leave you guessing, but if you've enjoyed watching us basically just tidy up and transform from what's been one business to another, then hit the subscribe button, make sure you like the video, give it a share, and we'll be coming back with part 2. There'll be a few more videos in between, but part 2 will be coming as we carry on transforming the workshop and carry on building it up, and you can be able to see it all. And I'm sure I'll do a workshop tour at the end when it's all finished. Stay safe, everyone.